Okay, so I've been covering a lot of robotic vacuum cleaners lately, and the trend has kind of been these dual spinning mop pads on the bottom. But with this ECOVACS DEEBOT T80 OMNI, they actually have one long roller mop, which they're calling their OZMO Roller Mop. And it's pretty cool to see this in action because they can extend out to get those hard to reach places. And you throw in a really nice base station that takes care of a lot of self-cleaning, along with an app that allows you to really customize your cleaning experience. This T80 OMNI does have a lot going on with it. So I have partnered with ECOVACS for this video to show you all of these things. So let's jump right into it. And really the first thing we should start with is the Omni Station, which is the base station for this. So basically it will charge the robotic vacuum cleaner once it heads back to the station after it's done cleaning. But it doesn't stop there. It will automatically empty out the dustpan. So any of the dust and hair and all the other stuff that is vacuumed up, it'll actually be able to automatically put that into the removable bag that lives inside of this base station. And one bag will last you a very long time. You're talking about weeks to even months, depending on how heavy your cleaning is. But also this will also empty out the dirty mop water and stuff into the dirty water container. And then also, of course, you do have a clean water tank, and so it will automatically put in that clean water when it's time for it to go ahead and start mopping again. So with this complete base station doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to refilling and stuff like that, you really only have to kind of maintain it yourself every few weeks or so. So it's very convenient to have this kind of just do a lot of the stuff without you having to worry about it. Now, the main way you set up and control this is using the ECOVACS app. And so initially it will do an initial map scan of your place. So it'll go around, map everything out, and then you'll be able to see either a 2D or a 3D map of this inside of the ECOVACS app. And then from here, you can go ahead and label certain rooms like your living room or your kitchen. You can also set up no-go boundaries to make sure that the vacuum cleaner doesn't go somewhere where you don't want it to. And then also in here, you'll be able to customize whether or not you want it to vacuum or mop after vacuum or vacuum before it mops, and also the suction power and also how much water is going to be using and a bunch of other little tweaks like this. And I really like the fact that you can actually save some of these. So if you have a certain preset that you want to run after a party and you wanted to do a little bit more of a deeper clean, you can do that. Or if you're running out of time, you want a quicker clean, you can also set that up inside of here. Now, taking a look at the vacuum cleaner itself, you can access the dustbin just from the top here just by removing this little lid. And then now you can pull it out and now you can empty it yourself. And then also on the bottom, you'll find all the different rollers and stuff that you can actually remove and kind of clean and do maintenance and replace over time eventually when you do need to do that. And everything is easily manageable here. Everything is laid out very nicely and very easy to get to. And then you can flip this over and then you'll have access to a lot of the other parts that you can eventually take out and then do a deeper cleaning, or if you need to eventually replace certain things later on down the road. And also inside of the app, it'll kind of guide you to when you need to replace certain parts and replace certain things and change out the dust bag and stuff like that. So it helps you keep track of that a lot easier inside of the app. But now let's get into the cleaning, because obviously this is the most important part when it comes to a vacuum. So yeah, starting with the mopping first, this OZMO roller, just the ability for it to be able to extend out when it's trying to get those corners and also underneath maybe a table or a chair. And it's always cool just to watch this in action as it extends out when it needs to, and then it goes back in when it doesn't need to. And this roller is spinning pretty fast at 200 RPM, and it's also pushing down, 10 newtons of pressure down onto the floor. And so this is about 16 times the pressure of a standard mopping robot. So with this long, narrow contact zone, it basically will be able to push the grime out of crevices and scrub away stuck-on messes. And this basically addresses the downsides of a dual disc mopping system that you sometimes find on vacuum cleaners. And so with those, you sometimes can get where the actual mop pads will be spinning and smearing the dirt around your place. But with this OZMO roller system, you get a clean result in just one pass. But when this roller mop is cleaning up these really dirty messes, you don't have to worry about it smearing the stuff all over your floor, because the mop will actually be constantly being washed and used, because you have self-washing built into this vacuum cleaner. And this will be executing 200 scrub and rinse cycles as it's going around your floor. And the wastewater scraper that is cleaning this OZMO roller will be able to squeeze out dirt every single time the roller spins. And after that, you'll have 8 high pressure clean water nozzles be able to blast the water onto the mop to be able to rinse it and make sure it stays clean as it goes around. And this extendable roller mop is in combination with the side brush, which is this little spinning brush on the bottom. And both of these are a part of the True Edge 2.0 system that allows this vacuum cleaner to really give you that really nice edge to edge cleaning. And you can see here as the spinning brush is going to be pushing those particles towards the actual vacuum part of this vacuum cleaner. And that in combination with the roller mop extending out, you really get a nice clean. And also built into this is a True Edge 3D sensor. And this is going to be aiding that extendable roller mop, because this sensor will actually be able to measure the distance between the vacuum itself and also the side of the wall or the base baseboard or whatever it's going along with to be able to make sure that extendable mop can reach out, but it's not going to be damaging itself or damaging other things. And it just really makes for a more efficient clean. Now, sometimes I can be a little bit messy and I can leave things on the ground before I start using the vacuum, but I really don't have to worry about it that much because this thing has this AI-VI 3D 3.0 intelligent obstacle avoidance system. So basically what that means is that this thing can see what you leave on the floor and also be able to recognize those items and do a really great job at avoiding them when it is doing this cleaning process. And so I did a test with some shoes and water bottles and little stuff like that, and it did a really good job at either not touching it, or sometimes it did give the object a little bit of a love tap, which doesn't hurt anyone. But yeah, sometimes it just gets really, really close and is able just to move around to make sure that it's getting a very thorough cleaning. Now, one other cool thing that you can do with this vacuum cleaner is that you can actually remotely view the built-in camera on the front of it to be able to monitor it while it's cleaning, or you can also take control of it yourself to be able to navigate around your place. Or you can also activate this sentry mode, which will allow it to actually just go around and surveil your place. And then you can take a photo, you can take some videos, and just use this as surveillance of your dogs that you might leave at home or whatever pet that you do have. And then you can also choose to take photos or take videos. And it does have a little green light on the front, by the way, to be able to let you know when someone is doing live viewing using the camera on this thing. But getting back to more of the cleaning here, let's talk about the vacuuming part of this. So this does have 18,000 pascals of suction power. And compared to its competition, this puts the T80 Omni towards the top as far as like the raw power when it's going over carpet or even your hardwood floor and you have a lot of junk and stuff that I'm showing you right now. In this example, it does a good job at getting a lot of that stuff up. And then that spinning brush does a really good job at just pushing that stuff towards the vacuum, as I mentioned before. Now, I don't have long hair, but you might have long hair, or animals or pets with long hair. But this does have a Zero Tangle 3.0 system to be able to help eliminate hair getting tied up and stuff. Now, the side brush itself is actually designed to be able to really push those little pieces of hair towards the main roller brush on the bottom. And that's also designed as well to be able to allow that hair to kind of cycle through and go through the suction power without being able to actually get tangled up on the brush itself. And that's largely in part to this V-shaped design that they have with this brush. Oh, and this T80 Omni is actually a pretty short vacuum cleaner, so it only comes in at 98 millimeters tall, and it doesn't have one of those modules at the top that you find with other vacuum cleaners, and this allows it to maneuver around and get underneath places like chairs and stuff without getting caught up. Also, on the front of the vacuum, there is a LED fill light that the vacuum can automatically turn on to be able to help it navigate around your place, especially if you leave the lights off or you have this thing scheduled to start cleaning at night, so it'll still be able to see what it's trying to do. Okay, so just wrapping up here, this T80 Omni really does do a lot. So you have the self-cleaning with the base station, you have the really good suction power, you have the really great mopping capabilities, especially with that extendable roller mop. I just love watching that thing. I keep saying that in this video, but it's just always cool to see in action. But also the app is really good, and the control and customization that you get inside of the app really does allow this thing to be operated with a very low friction level from the user itself. So you don't have to be a genius to use this thing, but also it will be able to automatically just take care of a lot of this cleaning stuff that you normally would have to do yourself. So yeah, I really recommend this thing, and I'm gonna drop a link down below in the description of this video that will take you to ECOVAC's website where you can buy this for yourself. And so there you'll get the latest price, and also down in the description, if I do have any discount codes or anything like that, I'll drop them down below as well. But at this point, I want to hear what you think about this. Drop a comment down below. And like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.